Okay, so what we'd like to do right now is explore the anatomy of a browser. So the browser is an application that's loaded onto your computer. It could be a desktop, could be a smartphone, could be a laptop, a tablet. And the idea is that that device allows us to connect to the internet. So what do you need to connect to the internet? You need to have a smartphone, a laptop, a desktop, or a tablet. You need to have an internet connection. And that internet connection can either be wired or wireless. If it's wireless, you need to have that connection locked down with a password and a username. Then you need an internet service provider. You rarely ever connect directly to the internet yourself. You get a contract from an internet service provider. It might be Roadrunner, it might be AT&T, and you pay them to provide you with access to the internet. In addition to that, you need a browser. So there's a number of different browsers. There's Chrome, there's Firefox, there's Microsoft Edge, and all of them basically work about the same way. And what I want to do is kind of give you an idea of the various features that you'll find with any browser and all browsers. And the interesting thing about this is once you learn how to use one browser, you really know how to use them all. They'll have slight differences. The thing about it is people have an emotional attachment to one browser over another, but really all the browsers work pretty well. They all do a pretty good job. So if someone prefers one browser over another, most of the time, in many circumstances, it's an emotional attraction, especially at this stage of the game. Later on, if you start doing development, there'll be reasons why you may prefer one browser over another. So here I am in Chrome. And you download and install the browser. Of course, that means you have to have an internet connection. And then I want to discuss the features in here, and then I want to show you the features of another browser. So first thing is the address window. And so there's two ways to access a website. One is to go directly to the website by typing in the URL or domain name. Okay, a domain name is one type of URL. So I need to know the exact domain name. Let's say I want to go to msn.com. I type in msn.com and I hit enter, and it takes me to that website. Now, one of the first things I want you to understand is that if you don't type in the website correctly, then a number of things may happen. One is that you may go to the wrong website or no website at all. And lots of times when you misspell things in the browser, what will happen is it'll start a search, all right? So you have to be aware of that. In addition to that, that address window can be used for other things, but for the most part, the first best way to get to a website is by typing in its address. The other way to get to a website is by using a search engine, and we're gonna do a lot of work with search engines later. Now, in addition to that, we have some buttons. In the upper left-hand corner, there's a back button. Every time you click that, it takes you back one step, okay? And then we have a forward button, which takes you forward one step. And then we have the stop button. And the idea is that in older browsers, what used to happen often was that a page would take a long time to load. And you might be sitting there waiting for this page to load for quite a while, and you might decide, you know what? I'm just going to stop the page from loading altogether. Next to that is the home page button. So if I click that, it takes me to the home page. My home page just happens to be Google. You can decide what home page you want. So whenever someone says the word home page, it can mean a couple of things. One, it could mean the first page of the first website of the website, or it can be the first page that loads in the browser. So this is the home page button. Then we have our address window. Once again, that's how you go directly to a website. Now, in addition to that, there are other features. If I click the three dots up here, you can see that I can start a new tab. I've got a number of tabs already started, but the idea is if I click new tab or click that little plus, I can have more than one website launched at a time. So let's say I want to have yahoo.com and Google launch simultaneously. I can have more than one tab, and then I can have more than one website up at a time. So this feature has always existed, but one of the differences was that the browsers, the internet connections were too slow to really support it. But you can always have more than one website loaded at a time. It's called multitasking. So I can click back and forth on those tabs to load each of those pages. And so sometimes when you're using the web, you may end up having more than one website open at a time. You might have YouTube open and your email and Spotify or anything else. All right. So Start here allows you to bookmark a particular page. What is a bookmark? So one of the things that I can do is if I find myself going to a website a lot, I can save that link, and it's called a bookmark in Chrome. In Microsoft Edge and Internet Explorer, it's called a history link. And so I can go up here and I can save a bookmark. So let's say that I want to bookmark this tab. What I do is I click under the little 3 stars, go to bookmarks, bookmark this tab. It asks me where the page, what folder I want to save the page in, so I can make a folder. Let's say I make a folder. I'm going to click more, and I'm going to make a folder, make a new folder. I'm going to call it Internet, and I'm going to click Save. And now what I've done is I've taken this page, bookmark this tab, and I want to place it into the folder Internet. I click Done, and now I can come back to this page anytime I want. If I close this tab, I start a new tab, and I want to launch that, I can click there. I can go down to my bookmarks, right? And I can go down and I can look for my bookmarks, and the bookmark is Internet, and under Internet is Yahoo. When I click there, it's going to launch that website. So that's how you make a bookmark, or a favorite. That's what they're called in Internet Explorer. They're called favorites, right? So that's how you create a bookmark. In addition to that, in all browsers, you'll have a history. So when I click history, what this is a listing of all the web pages I've visited over, in this case right now, this is all the stuff I've done just today, right? And so different browsers will have this organized differently. I actually don't like the way Chrome organizes their history, because it's just exhaustive lists. I think this is something that Internet Explorer and Microsoft Edge does a little bit better, because they allow you to check your history through links, through by the week, and so on. And so the idea is that as you're surfing the internet, every page that you view is listed in your history. So this can be problematic for a couple of reasons. One, anybody can come up to your browser, they can see what you're doing, and they can literally go back to any page that you visited. So one of the things that you want to do is you want to be able to clear that history. The other thing you can do is use in-private browsing. The idea with in-private browsing is that you are not saving lists and lists of your pages. So if I go back and I click on one of these links, it's going to take you, for instance, if I click here, it's going to take you to a page that I've visited in the past. Okay, and so that is my history. So I have my bookmarks and I have my history. In addition to that, I also have a list of downloads. So what is a download? A download is something that I see on the internet and I copy it down to my hard drive. So there's uploads and downloads. Uploads means I'm taking something from a local computer and moving it up to the internet. A download means I'm taking something from a remote location and moving it down to a local computer. The local computer could be a desktop, could be a laptop, could be a tablet, or a smartphone, right? That's a download. An upload is going from a desktop, laptop, smartphone, or tablet up to the internet. And oftentimes you'll need to either download content from the web or upload content to the web. And these are the features of your browser, okay? Now, if I launch Internet Explorer, I'm sorry, Microsoft Edge, you'll see that there's a lot of similarities. I have my ability to create tabs, I have my address window, I have my home page, I have the ability to create favorites. They're called favorites instead of bookmarks. I have the ability to track my history, I have the ability to do downloads, and there's other features as well, but those are the main features for your browser. I want you to be comfortable and familiar with using the browser. Let's go back to Chrome for a second. One of the things I want you to be aware of, lots of times when you're in a website, let's go back to MSN. And when I'm looking here at MSN, one interesting thing that you'll notice is that there's a search window on the website itself. So don't confuse this search window with the address window. The address window is for typing the exact name of a website. If I don't know the name, then I can use a search. And MSN is a hybrid site that is like a magazine style website. It also has search features. And when you use that, that's when you're looking for information you don't know where it is on the web. And whenever you come to a website and it's got a search bar in the middle of it, be aware of the fact that that search bar could do two things, one of two things. One is search that website itself or search the internet. So this one says web search, and this search feature is powered by the browser, the search engine Bing. Okay, so we're going to go through searching and how to conduct a search, but the first thing is understanding the mechanics of the browser, how to use the browser.